Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I thought I should update you a little bit on what's happening in Florida as we have not only changes to itinerary, but out and out cancellations of cruise ships. So, as we have just recovered a little bit from Hurricane Fiona, except for maybe in Grand Turk, where they're still having trouble with the dock, not being in use right now, that's causing a lot of headaches for cruise ships trying to get around and make that a Grand Turk stop. But now we have Hurricane Ian, which has just left Cuba and is on its way into Florida and causing havoc with lots and lots of cruise ships. More than 12 different cruise ships have had to change itineraries and change directions from Hurricane Ian. As it barrels in towards Florida, it still doesn't know if it's going to go a little bit north of Tampa, if it's going to go south of Tampa. But it does seem to be heading towards Tampa. Now, right now, it is gaining strength. It is up to a Category 3. Later on today, it's supposed to hit a Category 4 hurricane with sustained winds in the 120 to 130 mile per hour range as it hits landfall later today in Florida. It's already closed. Yesterday, Tampa cruise port closed, not allowing cruise ships in, not allowing any other ships above a certain size into port. And it is expected today that they will also close the Jacksonville and the Port Canaveral. Now, Port Canaveral is one of the largest cruise terminals in North America. It currently is home to 10 different cruise ships, and many of them will be affected. I was in the cruise port today, and they were buttoning up the hatches a little bit in preparation for the oncoming storm. They're expected that it'll probably close on Wednesday, possibly last through Thursday, and reopen possibly on Friday. That means any cruise ship that was going to be setting sail on Wednesday and Thursday is not going to happen from Port Canaveral or Jacksonville for that matter. So we had Norwegian Cruise Line canceled, I believe it was the Getaway, just out and out canceled a 9-day voyage saying, yeah, we're not going to be doing that one. Carnival then came down and they did the Elation and the Paradise, I believe, canceled 4-day sailings out of Port Canaveral. And the Disney Cruise Line warned their passengers the Disney Wish might be affected by this. Also, Carnival Paradise is in Cozumel right now and is supposed to return on Thursday to unload passengers. They've already been warned that they might not be unloading passengers that day if the cruise port is still closed. Now, that rings up a whole pile of things that can happen. They could, pull into, say, Fort Lauderdale and then bus everybody back into Port Canaveral area. But if the flights aren't going because of the weather and things, then it's not a lot of use to busing people down there for no other reason. You might as well keep them on the cruise ship until you can get them home. So, it's a big mess that's going on right now. We may even be affected here on the Oasis of the Seas getting back to New York, depending on how sharp that curve is of Hurricane Ian. If it cuts right across Florida and then heads back out to sea, we could be affected trying to get back into New York. Now, while all this is happening and we want everybody in Tampa, especially area, to be safe and take precautions. My friends Tony and Jenny, thinking about you guys all week, hoping you guys are safe and hunkered down. I know you're not in the immediate must evacuate area. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't take precautions and be safe. And I'll be thinking about you guys all day until this thing passes. But I also want to talk about some things like, for instance, if you book your cruise and your ship can't get back to port, for instance, the Carnival Paradise might not be able to get back to port on Thursday, it might arrive Friday. Well, chances are you've missed your flights. Now, if you booked your flights through the cruise line, they will assist you in rebooking your flights. They will do that. However, if you book flights on your own, like for instance, I did this time, I did not go through Royal Caribbean when I booked my airfare. I booked it because I used my Air Miles points and I got a special deal offer that saved me like half. So it was really worthwhile for me to buy those tickets at that time and not go through the cruise line. However, if for some reason we're delayed a day or even half a day to the point where we may miss flights, I have no coverage unless I have my travel insurance that will cover my flight cost because of the storm, which I do have. So I am covered that way, but I have no assistance from the cruise line to rebook me. That is one of the benefits of always going through the cruise lines, because if your ship gets canceled or delayed or has to get canceled halfway through a cruise, they will assist you to get you home. And it's covered by them. You don't have to try and shell out money and then put in a claim or any of that. They will assist you if you booked it through the cruise line. However, if you went like I did and went on your own, you're on your own to get yourself home. And then you have to go through the claim of the insurance policy, etc., etc., etc. And it can take weeks, if not months, to get your money back. And you'll have to shell out that money in advance most of the time. It's just a heads up now that you see, what can happen when you're just going on yes, you get on the ship, that's terrific. All of a sudden, though, something happens and the ship can't get you back to port in time, and you miss a whole day. Now, if you have a hotel booked and then your flight's the next day, not so bad. You miss your hotel, but at least you're still getting home. Of course, it gets even worse for those people who book early flights, because even if you're only delayed an hour or 2 hours getting back to port, that can be enough for you to miss your flights of like an hour and a half, 2 hours. When some people cut their time to get through security and to the airport and get off the ship to like a really early, to like 10 o'clock in the morning. I see people booking flights 10 o'clock in the morning. I would never book a flight that early, because I would stay another night if I had to, if that was the only flight available, and leave the next day, because there are just too many variables and too many things that can happen that you miss your flight. But I thought, with all these cancellations and all these ship itinerary changes and things happening, I thought I should bring that up as a little reminder, as a good tip, that if you're worried about something like that, booking your air through the cruise lines gives you that security that they will help you and assist you and rebook you to get you home if something happens, like bad weather or a closed cruise port or the ship breaks down or any other variable that can happen on your cruise. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation. Huh? What do you think of the robe? Huh? Do I look like I'm on vacation and having a pretty good time?